Welcome to part four. Part four is going to be really, really quick. Okay. Tonight, we're going to talk about just finding the root of your rejection wound. And once you find the root of your rejection wound, you need to go a tad bit deeper. So, for example, let's just say you were rejected by your mother, right? Was it emotionally? Was it physically? Was it both? Was it spiritually? How was it? How was the rejection that you received? And then you also have to look at your mother. Was she rejected in life? Because sometimes the wound that you're receiving, the person that's giving it to you, they received the exact same wound. It may not be in the exact same way, but they received that wound or they're carrying another one. So when you are healing this, you're looking at the pattern and you're looking at where it originated from in the person as well sometimes. You know what I'm saying? If you can. If you can do that, then that would be something that I would suggest that you do. Look at where it originated from, because if somebody is passing a wound on to you, they're wounded themselves, because a healed whole person would not pass on a wound. It doesn't. That's not how that goes. Like, why would I be happy and whole and then be like, you know what, I'm gonna mess up their life? That doesn't make sense. So most of the time, if you're wounded, the person that's wounding you, intentionally or unintentionally, because sometimes we do this stuff unintentionally, we don't really know, and they don't really know what they're doing. They don't know that they're doing it, because what they are doing to you could have been a lineage for a very long time and deemed as normal. Or let me just say this, sometimes when we receive like a rejection wound, I'm gonna give you an example, and I'm gonna take it back to slavery and show you how it can pass all the way down. You have a mother who's a slave, right? She has a child. Back during slavery, some of the people sold their kids, took their kids away, right? So you have a mother that's like, oh, I love my child, but I know I cannot love my child because my child could be taken away. My child could be raped. And that's a deep hurt when you cannot do anything to really save your child. So that mother develops a numbing behavior, a coping mechanism to her own pain, which is to pull back from her child. So that child is getting rejection, not because the mother does not love that child, but for survival, for safety, and for protection of the heart of the mother and sometimes that child. Because one, I do a lot of research on stuff like that, right? And one of the things that they did was, if they saw that you like really loved your child, they would take your child to hurt you and stuff like that. So imagine carrying a child and then not being able to love that child. You got to pull back. You can't show that child love the way that you would really want to show that child love. So the child learns the exact same thing and does it to their child. And as time go on and slavery ends, you know, that pattern of holding back still exists, because it's kind of normal. You have a mother that births a child, she feeds the child, she does what the child needs, but she doesn't really love on that child because her mother didn't love on her. It becomes kind of like an unspoken way of being. And then here come you, years and years and years later, and you're still receiving what was done 100 years ago. We'll just say that. Because in most cases, think about it, especially like for me, not a millennial, I'm a Gen X. So my mother was a baby boomer, right? And her mother was probably born during, like, I think it's called the silent group, the silent era or whatever. So my mother, though she was raised by her mother, she was really raised by her great great grandmother, who was born in like 1900. So imagine the mentality of those women passed down to my mother, who's still here today in 2025. You get what I'm saying? So when you are working on your rejection, you have to take into account, if that happened to your mother in some kind of way, and you have to take into account who she was raised by, the time period she was raised in, and what was going on. You know, at one point in time, women couldn't say nothing. Did not have a voice. You spoke, a man looked at you like you was crazy, and also women were not protected back then. That's why some women back in the day, they came off looking weak because being strong and being powerful was not safe. So when I say go down that rabbit hole of the womb, that's also what I'm talking about, because sometimes that helps. Now, that's not in every case, because sometimes you just have a really bad human, be it male or female, and they just treat you wrong. Okay. But sometimes the context of why something is so within the lineage kind of really helps, with your healing process, because now you have an understanding of the behavior that was passed down. Now, tomorrow, we're going to talk about, once you find all of this out, how you can do your healing work to help you heal. Because some of us will heal all the way, and some of us won't. We're still going to be triggered through this. And I'm going to give you some tips and ways to help navigate through it, so that you don't think you're crazy, so that you don't think something is wrong with you. You just been wounded, and you'll be okay. You'll be okay. So I'll see y'all next time for part 5.